Why now? Why are you doing this to me now? Hello, everybody. Welcome to ZeldaSpeedRuns, broadcasting Links to the Past Randomizer Challenge Cup 2021. We have round 3 for you today. It's Adalor versus Kaesden. It's game 3, so it's going to be hype. Commentating for us, we have Mayan DM and ProA007, and tracking is Yoinker's wife. Say hello, everybody.
Hello.
Good afternoon, fans of Rando. We have the best words for you that you can hear in any tournament. Deciding game. Yes, we've got a deciding game 3 on the slate today between Adalor and Kaesden.
Yep.
I am Mind DM, and that was Pro A 007 speaking up there to begin with. How are you doing today, Pro A?
Pretty well. Yeah, this will be interesting. Game three, it's all down to this, and we have a little Mission Impossible from the uncle there.
Seems appropriate that message will self-destruct. The runners will hope that that's the last text box they see until the Triforce welcomes them in at the end.
One would hope. So we lead off with $20 in the house. So for game three, Kaesden is the sixth seed in this Challenge Cup. Adalor is 27th, but at this point, I don't think there's a whole lot of difference, especially for now tied at 1-1 going into this deciding game three.
At this late date, everybody who is still alive in this tournament is good. There is no question at all.
We were talking about what we wanted to see, and our wish has been granted. Berna.
Yeah, the Berna escape means that magic management is on the table here. Trying to farm up some bombs might be a little more difficult. We see Adalor there using a pot to check one of the guards, and we see a heart, so depending on what the next drop in that pack is, there may be some bombs available here.
And we got a very early map check from Adalor. It looked like pendant at Tower of Hera at a red crystal in desert. I didn't really see what Eastern was.
Eastern was the red crystal, one of the 5/6.
Oh, so we got two red crystals on the board here, it looks like. So that will be interesting, and that may depending on their item draw here, that may inform their future decision as far as what they decide to do next after once they're done, with Hyrule Castle and probably the usual CAC checks.
So far, they're not getting a whole lot of direction out of this escape sequence. They're still going to need to see the small key in one of these next two checks, so really only one more before we get into the back, and we still have yet to see any bombs on offer.
Yeah. Any drops of enemies? We've seen we've seen hearts, but nothing. Ooh, the hook shot.
Shot is nice. That'll let you farm some rats and some snakes up in the back really easily. Maybe also get a stun prize check on the green guard down here to see if the bomb happens to be tucked away in the stun prize pack today.
Yeah, it gives them a little more breathing room, certainly, because Burna is they're already like really down on their magic as it is. So you can see them, going for the pots and just try to, preserve some magic just in case. Um,
And we did see that small key there on Kaesden's side, so Dark Cross is going to have something on offer. Now, it could be something as useless as the map.
Given what we've seen so far, and Hookshot was nice and all, but it feels like the seed is gonna troll a bit here.
The hookshot really doesn't count as early direction, but it is a nice early movement aid.
It is. It certainly is, and if gloves come in early, we could have an early Death Mountain play, even though that's technically out of logic because you need the lamp, but that might encourage the runners to make a run towards up there. Oh, we got bombs.
Yep, there's that stun prize coming through. Kaesden deciding at the last minute to backtrack, grab that pot, and kill the guard that he'd stunned with the hookshot, and Adalor's going to do the same thing.
Yeah, all right. So that's a nice break for both runners. Gives them peace of mind, and now I think they can really make a run here.
It's also nice now, they can just use the hookshot to kind of clear their way here with these rats and snakes. They don't have to worry about actually farming them. Whatever prices drop. You may get a little additional information. If you don't happen to, well, you're not really at a loss.
Not really. Overall, it you know. So we got that's our second piece of hearts so far for items.
Couple of pieces of heart, couple of red rupees. Not really a whole lot going on in this escape sequence outside of that hookshot.
Yeah, we'll see what Back of Escape offers here for Adalor and Kaesden.
Like we have rats in the sticks pool, but with no bow, we're not really going to worry about it. And unfortunately, there's that map. We will have both runners checking the poor box today.
Well, our third piece of heart. So little bits of love being scattered across here. Chloe Prower, I think, sums it up. Lame escape. Yep. Kaesden out at a little over 6 minutes.
Kaesden, with a lot of really clean movement in that escape sequence, finds the Moon Pearl in the poor box. I wonder who put that there.
Okay, so red crystal was an eastern, blue crystal at desert. So, all right. So now we're on our way into the great wide world of Hyrule.
And it appears that Kaesden is going to go ahead for an immediate lumberjack check. Can get a tier 2 tree pole right here and then continue the play right on up. That 10-stick tier 2 tree pole, probably not what he was hoping to find. At this point with the bomb stun prize though, something like those 20 rupees off the hoarder is probably what he had in mind there.
Makes especially if you're not getting any money in Blind's Hut, that's a nice backup. And looked like that was a piece of heart.
Yep, just another piece of heart. The speed is throwing all those at our runners bright and early here.
Okay, well, there's a moot point with 300 in the hideout.
Money problem solved.
In the short term, yeah. It takes care of the bottle vendor, plus got a nice little nest egg on their way to Zora later on. So this is game 3, and I'm sure these runners are well practiced in the art of running, but you have to wonder in a game 3, are you going to do anything a little different? Are you going to be more aggressive, be more cautious? Are you going to go for things you might not go for otherwise? It's one of those things where there is no tomorrow really for our runners. So are they going to go for stuff?
There are those little bit of extra nerves, and often it really comes down to how well do you keep playing your game. In both of these runners' cases, their game is what got them here all the way into the round of 32 and has allowed them to take one game off of their opponent so far.
Yeah, Chloe commenting, plays thoroughly multi-world mentality. That's interesting and a valid thing. You know, that certainly is a double-edged style. It can pay off, especially if you get something way kind of out on a limb there. But you could spend too much time looking at one thing. So, the flute. Go back to that whole Death Mountain play. That's very much in play now.
Yeah, for playing thoroughly, it's really something that you see a lot of runners do when they're very confident in their execution. And, well, once you've made it to the round of 32, you're probably pretty confident in that. It's really going to come down to how is that going to work out versus the checks that kaesden makes. Is kaesden going to make any skips that Adalor does not think that he can make for whatever reason his play style will allow or not?
Yeah, so both have activated the bird. So this is going to cut down on the save and quits for sure. They're really going to, I think, press the attack here a bit and really, I think, clean out a lot of these overworld checks. Interesting to see what they do next. South Hyrule with Mini Moldor, or maybe make a run up to Death Mountain.
I think the South Shore play might be a little more likely, in only that you would hope to find the hammer or the mirror so that you could get around Death Mountain a little more easily. Maybe you find both gloves before you get up there and you can chain in the Dark Mountain checks at the same time.
It's a lot of potential there.
kaesden has the extra money because, yes, the order is dropping 20 rupees all over the place.
So nothing at the race game. Adalor is going to South Hyrule, as you suggested. Oh, tried to go for the hook chain, didn't get it. So it'll be a 2-trip for Adalor.
And kaesden's going to follow right along behind. He gets that hook clip, so it's only going to be 1 trip through. We also see the blue mail there is the sunken treasure.
Adalor
I expect
on
only 4 hearts, I expect we'll see both runners go ahead and grab that, although kaesden, with a great deal of NMG experience, probably feels pretty decent on that green mail already.
Yeah. No point taking a chance. Adalor is actually heading to Desert. That's an interesting call. kaesden is going to continue on towards Mini Moldorm Cave. With that hook shot, this is going to be much easier than trying to bomb your way through.
And this may be one of those early indications that Adalor intends to go ahead and stick with his game, this thorough clearing, making sure he gets all of these Sphere 1 checks in.
So there's the boots. Ooh. Wow. Both runners coming away with something.
The Elder Agena paying out today for sure. That is our first glove upgrade tucked away in his cave.
Yeah, so now we'll see how long it takes kaesden to come up with Agena here, because with the current item set, it could be a little while actually.
And by the same token, now that he has those boots in hand, it is a little easier to maneuver around that large desert area. He will save some time when he finally gets around to it.
That is true. That is a nice little incentive. It might just be a little while before he comes up with that with Agena. Let's see what. No, I am completely wrong today. Wow.
And I'm completely wrong too. He's decided that walking is the better part of valor here.
Yeah, it's like, has he forgotten he has boots, or okay, he has not forgotten. He was just he was taking a leisurely path to it. So Adalor finishes off Ice Rod Cave. See what he decides to do next. Looks like he's gonna go get some money.
Going to finish off the Zora money right here. So we'll probably see a fake flipper, maybe also a little bit of water walk action coming out here in a minute.
So 25 more, so 2 more trips will do it. Nothing in Bonk Rocks. So Kay's going to turn in that bottle and walks away with the red mail. So plenty of defense to go around. Adalor went back into Ice Rod. I think forgot. Oh yeah, did that.
No, I think he was arming a water walk there.
Ah, I see. Right you are. So we got our first like real route divergence here. Adalor is making a run at Zora, and fake flippering to get the 2 items in here, and gets a baby shield and some love.
And we will continue to not see Kaesden for a hot minute here as he's saving the old man in the dark, using the hook shot to do a little echolocation and to bounce off a few things to get some idea of where in the world he is in that cave network.
This is an easy one. This is an easy enough room to figure out. Dark room to figure out. Just got to be a little careful, but otherwise fine. Just a little bit of love there. And a poor return on investment once again by Zora. Turning 500 rupees into 50.
Scam Master living true to his name, not unlike our runners today, wanting to stay true to their games. Zora staying true to his.
Yeah. So with that, nothing there under that. So Gayson's gonna now head towards East Death Mountain, knock out Paradox Cave.
Between Paradox Cave and Spiral, he has 8 more items over here, and probably chasing that hookshot a little bit insofar as that's really the only thing that's given him access to new things so far this seed. You know, the flute is nice. The flute or the glove out of logic gets you up here, but then the hookshot's really the thing that's going to go to work.
Yeah, it's not. There's the mirror, so we could have an early run at Tower of Hera next. Adalor looks like he's going to finally make a check on Lumberjack.
Now that the boots are safely on the feet, it makes a lot of sense you want to go ahead and get that anxiety out of the way, since the game has given you part of the puzzle to actually reach this item.
Yeah, and Paradox had a baby sword, so I'm sure Kaesden, though, I'm sure can manage without for a little while longer. It's still nice to have.
It does put in logic a potential kill of Moldorm up there at the top of the Tower of Hera. Maybe not the kind of thing that Kaesden wanted to see up here after the mirror is giving logical access to that portion of the mountain.
Yeah, probably not. Floating Island has a shovel.
A fetch quest that we cannot get anywhere near yet. Thanks, game.
Yeah. It is a bit taunting, but we'll see how this plays out in the short term. Spiral Cave just has a bloomerang, so kaesden now has a choice to make. See what he decides to do, and he is going to return to Death Mountain on the west side. It looks like we're going to get a Hera play, which I think is a good choice. Yeah, it is a pendant, but it's a fairly quick one.
Fairly quick with the book and or rather with the boots and the hook. You can Hera pot if you really want to. You can, the seed has given you everything you need to go and clear this dungeon. You found the last couple of pieces of that puzzle right up here on the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
The idea that maybe something is just here is a pretty strong one.
The bonk rock got in front of the door, got stopped in front of the door. That's unfortunate to reset the spawn. All right. So, the hammer. Oh, it's almost tempting just to nope out of here. But no, he's going to continue on.
He's not content. He's at least going to check this, and it's the big key. Maybe he pieces out with that, and that way he's got it in case he has to come back later for item number 2. But that's good enough for kaesden. Dark World access acquired at 20 minutes.
Yep. Although kaesden is going to make the run towards a Hype Cave, the cave formerly known as Hype.
Well, whether it's always hype or not, at least it still is an item-dense location. We've got a green pendant at TR, a pendant at Pod, and everything else appeared to be crystals, including a 5-6 over on the western side of the world, I think.
Yeah, Skull Woods was the second red crystal, so... Alright, so get out your hypes for Hype Cave, and, well, that's not very hype at all.
But flippers, we could go right into Crystal Swamp and full clear it.
Well, that's about as sucky a Hype Cave as I've seen in a while. Piece of heart and 420 and 4 red rupees. Yawn.
Yep, tripe all the way down, living down to its new name.
I think even tripe is too nice a term for that. Wow.
Right, at least tripe is edible.
Yeah. Alright, kaesden checking the pyramid. Oh, that's Bombos. Not unwelcome as a fire source.
Would be our entry point into Crystal Ice, theoretically, if the fire rod doesn't show up here before we get around to the second glove. Of course, the flipper is also logically wanted for there, but, you're going to have to find those eventually anyway. Swamp Palace is going to require them hard.
Yeah. Right, so kaesden is heading towards Catfish, and with Mirror can sync that up with Zora and learn what a wasted investment that is. The structural mic is suggesting checking King's Tomb. Yeah, that's in play. If you want to do that loop towards Village of Outcasts.
Okay, Adalor has found his hammer and is going to flute to 3. Looks like we're going to get a little divergence in our starting Dark World routes here.
Yeah, that's... I think that'd be my preferred choice myself, is going in towards Village of Outcasts and Thieves Town. Because Thieves Town is 100% clearable, so... that would be my choice. Get a crystal out of the way. And with 7 hearts, that shouldn't be too bad.
You're reasonably safe for it, especially when you've got the red mail already. Thieves Town, of course, having 4 items on offer for you. You've already got the hammer in hand, so you don't have to worry about the big chest. If something's there, you can just go ahead and pick it up.
But Adalor first is going to check Skull Woods, which is a red crystal. I cannot finish, but can do the first half of the dungeon, and just get some checks out of the way. Chat saying Kaesden's going back for North Dark World, and that makes sense. With the mirror, that does make a lot of those checks pretty quick, and you get into Village of Outcasts anyways. So if something pays off here, that's one of the 2 items in Skull Woods, a heart container.
You found the other one already. It was a 3-bomb.
So okay, so both items are off the table, so no worries there. So it's now on to Village of Outcasts and Thieves Town. That's 7 items right there. T-shaped house just had a piece of heart. Kaesden going into King's Tomb. Fortunately, a washout there. Oh, there's the Titans mitts.
Well, we can kind of call that French vanilla. Normally they're in this dungeon, but instead they were just out in the overworld next to it.
Close enough. Guy stole them and wanted to make them a door prize for his chess game. So far, Kaesden's North Dark World jaunt has netted him nothing of particular value other than knowledge.
Yeah, it's just the way that he's going about kind of thoroughly cleaning up all of these checks. He doesn't have to worry about how to route something like Catfish back in later, which can be valuable in the late game.
Yeah. So Bumper Cave has just a piece of hearts, so that's out. So Adalor, meanwhile, got, I think, 3 items off of the front, plus the big key, of course, which is required. Nothing of significance particularly, but, well, the heart container was nice, but no actual progression here.
Yeah, at least so far it looks like the logic just wanted you to come over here and get your mitts, and maybe we're supposed to follow those to the next portion of the chain.
It's possible, especially with Bombos there. You know, could we have an early Ice Palace on the table here? Although with Baby Sword, they might want to hold off on that. Follow the mitts to shovel. That's another good choice. If you're looking for if you're just looking to get some overworld checks out.
It could be a decent time to gain the knowledge of what the TR medallion requirement is, although as the green pendant, you're kind of hoping not to have to go in there in the grand scheme of things. So, all right. So Adalor didn't get anything up in the attic, so heading now down to the basement to take care of the maiden who's being held prisoner down there, or prisoner, if you will. And we'll see, this will either be the small key or it won't, and if not, we won't see the small key. Small key locked away in the big chest today.
So that's the 4th item, so all set there. Adalor had a little trouble getting out. Yeah, Dark Death, Dark World is rolled Snake Eyes, except for the chest game so far. But we'll get some more checks on the way after Adalor finishes here with Blind and has Kana Burner ready. Take him on in case things get a little out of hand here. Because while the fight is scripted, you know, it's like Blind has his moments.
And you know you're going to get that full magic refill at the end anyway. You may as well have your safety item equipped in advance just in case.
Yep. And no problems there. Okay, that was item number 4. Never mind. So those 3 fun. But nevertheless, Adalor on the board at 29-18 in Thieves Town. And with kaesden about a third of the way through the dungeon right now. So Adalor is going to get a heart container from the shed.
And with those mitts in hand along with the mirror, pretty easy to do the Smith sequence now after the dig game if he really wants to.
I think that's a good, again, a good choice here. Just get a bunch of items in the sequence. And, you know, if one of them happens to be Zora, might as well make a trip to Swamp White when you're done.
And once again, it does seem to tie in with that idea that Adalor wants to play very thoroughly. I'm not surprised at all. The single arrow of destiny coming out, unfortunately, not really the kind of prize you're looking for from any of the checks you make in the game.
Not for 80 rupees, certainly, and 17 digs. That's what you get. It's like, you know, in a way, the arrow almost seems to be like a middle finger to the runner. It's like, haha, fooled you.
So we'll get Kaesden on into the basement here while Adalor is turning this smith in. We'll see if we get anything here. We know that that northern route didn't really pay out in anything except peace of mind for Kaesden, so Adalor heading south will actually get a little new information here in the near future.
Yeah. Now we have the hammer pegs. So another good check to get out of the way. And the answer is just 3 bombs.
This seed definitely is not intent on giving up its secrets easily, is it?
Not yet. Yeah, no bow, no fire source. Just 1 medallion. Red cane out of play. So a little under 3 minutes later, Kaesden has finished off Thieves at 32-16. So 1-1 on the crystals. Adalor finishing first in Thieves Town.
And Adalor found a single green rupee there in K45. Once again, not the kind of thing you're looking for.
Not at all. Yeah, Bombos was on the on pyramids. So
So this will be our last bit of new information from Adalor, this purple chest turn in, and then he'll move into checks that Kaesden has done, but this is the 2nd level sword. You need at least 2 swords to beat Ganon at the end of the game, so that's a good one to have in hand.
apparently I miscounted. It was 18 digs, not 17.
This is a cruel point for our runners that, the answer could just be in the front of Pendant Pod, that thing that you probably want to try and keep avoiding when you don't even have a bow yet.
Yeah.
Because your other major option is to make a second mountain climb, which you also don't really want to do. We have choices, and we hate all of them.
Yeah. I like Bo in Saha's closet. Yeah, there we go. Sarsaparilla was holding the answer all along.
That would not be the first time. Adalor's going to go ahead and find his bombos here on the pyramid ledge. I expect, having no medallions in hand yet, going to go ahead and snag it.
Oh, yeah. So... Okay, so checking, looks like Adalor is doing all of the checks now that Kaesden did about 10 minutes ago.
And it seems likely that we'll see exactly what the actual gap is once this happens, because yes, Adalor is retracing Kaesden's steps fairly exactly, just in a mildly different order.
Yeah, and kind of blunting the advantage he did have. Pod or Dark Death Mountain, yeah.
Going to go ahead and take those bombs, I guess for good luck as much as anything.
Adalor's not going to do the North Dark World check. It is going to go into Mire. So we got our first medallion look. And it is Quake. Kaesden doing the same.
Nothing of particular note there, just another bottle in the Mire Shack, a little old place where we can get 2 items.
So next is Checkerboard Cave. Now they can do Desert. They can't finish, but they can do the front of it. There are 2 items in Desert. We'll see if this is a play they want. Well, now they can finish. Never mind.
Suddenly there's another full clearable crystal on the board. I wonder where our runners are going next.
Well, yeah, 2 are now on the table because Skull Woods is now also completable. But this isn't right here, so makes
Skull
sense.
might be a
So
little devalued at the moment, if only because our runners have found both of the actual items in it, and they have no bow to pick up the other 5/6 crystal in Eastern. So the only thing that would be on the table there is a crystal that doesn't lead to items yet.
right. So
Emphasis on yet, something could absolutely be in Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah. Like the Red Cane.
Red Cane would be a good one, maybe that Quake Medallion.
Yeah, that's another good one. Or Ether if Ether's required. Well, Ether could be required, but it would take some convoluted logic to get there.
I think the other big one we have not said yet would be the Flippers.
Yes. Where are those flippers?
Flippers, nice to have for getting into ice, but absolutely required to get into and clear Swamp Palace.
Yep. Not getting a lot in the way of items. Runners are nearly in lockstep right now. Well, there's some literacy. That opens a couple of checks with the pedestals.
And how badly do you want to go chase that book? It's the only thing that really came out of this whole play.
Well, I'm not sure how far they're gonna chase it, necessarily. Um, they might if it's the thing you check if you okay, you're done with swamp and you're still short on time. Okay, check Bombos, or we're doing Dark Death Mountain runs. Well, let's go check Ether while we're in the neighborhood. And Kaesden forgot he had a mirror, so he added about 25 seconds to his time. So
And while he was adding that 25 seconds to his time, Adalor has already reached the land molas.
yes, indeed. Kaesden is the king of the occasional dump. Well, we're all guilty of that third bottle from for the Landmos.
Again, it's kind of a nice safety to have. You could fill it with a fairy if you happen to find the bug net later, or you can go ahead and throw some potion in it. But not progression. So we found that book, and book looking more and more likely to have the next piece of this puzzle.
Yeah. So next up, Adalor is going to is going to head to Dark Death Mountain now.
Probably going to go ahead and avail himself of that book check while he's here, and then he can get onto
Yeah.
Dark Mountain, since, this is one of the two things the book can really do for him since he found it in Desert.
So 41-second difference between our runners grabbing the Desert Crystal. But we'll see what Kaesden decides to do next. There are some choices here. And he is heading back to Kakariko. He's going to knock out Skull Woods, make his third crystal.
3 hundo falling from the sky at Ether Tablet? That was not the answer we were hoping from the book. Maybe
No,
Bombos.
but it is not. It is nice though when reading, makes money fall from the sky.
I would be much richer if money fell from the sky every time I read.
Oh yeah. Yes, Crubble. That sounds correct. So it's double Quake for the two dungeons. So
Bombos on the pyramid, a total red herring. Maybe still the entry to Ice Palace. So not necessarily a total red herring, but the fire rods already showed up, so it doesn't really matter. It's just kind of a question of where were the flippers and what order did the game expect you to find these things in.
well, there's the red cane in Super Bunny Cave.
That's a nice one. Now that we have access to so many of these Dark World dungeons, it cracks quite a few of them right in half. Is absolutely required to clear Misery Mire. There's a switch that you have nothing else to put on it down there in the basement, which is why it's the vanilla item for that dungeon.
So Hookshot Cave had a has the red shield. Another piece of heart. Another piece of heart. And the lamp. Huh. So no more dark room anxiety. Not that they probably had any, but it's good to have that taken care of. So,
Kaesden rocking and rolling on that moth fight is going to go ahead and take the third crystal of the game there.
yeah, so up 3-2 now on the crystals. Adalor did get some fairly decent progression here from the Dark Death Mountain checks. Okay, so it's just gonna get it out of the way.
You're here now, it's here now. The book reads just a little piece of love.
Womp womp. Dream is dead.
That's fine. They can't all be Titan's mitts on the pedestal.
When did that happen?
That happened in the game 2 that I just got off commentating before I came here. That was on Kobo podcast. Maya, Nako, and Spyweaver had a required AGA for a hookshot on Lumberjack, and Swamp was one of their 3 pendants to pull their Titan's mitts off of the pedestal.
Now, why can't I have fun seeds like that to commentate? So, okay, so Crubble's like, I think we just broke his brain.
Adalor's going to go ahead and give us a look at this shovel check. Already seen some things off of that mountain play, and just a hard container up to 13 already.
Yeah. Adalor, not really. Kind of had to think about it for a sec. Is gonna do the double now. Take care of Pod and Eastern, or at least get as many items as humanly possible out of them.
At this point, probably hoping that the bow just shows up in the way.
Yeah, nice sarsaparilla check. Yeah. Flippers have not been found yet. That's one of a few major items we're still missing. Anyway, what's sarsaparilla hiding today? Well.
Yeah,
Red
3 sword, you're
sword.
not going to turn it down.
Oh no. No, that just makes Ganon a lot easier now.
Fire Rod was in Checkerboard Cave. You always got to check out Checkerboard Cave. And Kaesden going to turn up his lamp here momentarily.
So yeah, so in terms of where we're at on the progression, it looks like Kaesden is ahead. He is up on crystals, but it looks like he might be on the right track so far, at least so far as getting those crystals. He knocked out Skull right after taking care of Desert, because that was an easy one, because he already got both items earlier. So we'll see if Ice Palace becomes a thing.
It is an interesting question when you don't have the flippers, but you're not only looking for flippers. How long do I put off just sequence breaking into Ice Palace to find the other things that I'm still looking for?
Yeah, especially when you have everything else to make it a relatively quick dungeon. Without, all of like the nonsense games.
Meanwhile, Adalor is going to go ahead and make the play into the bow-locked side using that potion while moving to the left. You have to be moving left the whole time while you are using that potion to unlock the camera. And then you can pull all of those mimics off screen, and the game kind of decides, well, they're off screen, so they're dead, right? And that's the condition to open the door. So let's open that up and let the hero on through, shall we?
Or something to that effect. There's the bug catching net. Yeah, so far in terms of progression, not much given here for Adalor. Kaesden is gonna do the dig. Is gonna check with the shovel. Oof.
There was only the one bow-locked small key, so Adalor is okay to go back here and not worry about the implications of what he finds in general.
Right. Might have had to worry about the implications of going off the edge there, but held strong.
Yeah, taking a dive into the pit is not generally recommended, although it is a strat in some rooms.
Yep. So up to 14 hearts.
And we see
Okay.
kaesden there arming another water walk in Ice Rod Cave. This is probably going to be the run in, probably I would think checking the waterfall ferry first and then right into ice.
Mirror shield for Adalor. That's a nice boost. Kaesden's gonna check waterfall.
Getting another shield of his very own and not much else. And here we go. Who wants to sequence break Ice Palace? Kaesden does.
Well, and Adalor found the 4th bottle. Less than 50 minutes.
50 minutes in, Adalor has achieved bottle percent. Of course, that is not our victory condition today.
That would be a rather arbitrary one, wouldn't it?
Well, it's not really a whole lot more arbitrary than the true Ice Rod hunt.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so nice bomb set up there by Kaesden. $20 for Adalor in the first chest.
This seed really is continuing to closely guard its secrets, though, isn't it? You know, that bow could come out and make a lot of this make more sense, but
Bow
it's not finding it yet.
bow and or flippers really would really help kind of open things up. Kaesden does the icebreaker clip, get around from having to do some awkward bomb jump strats. Always a nice thing. So gonna cut in through the back and work his way down.
It does make the dungeon a great deal nicer and a great deal quicker. Simultaneous big key pickups, albeit in different dungeons.
And so it's still a nice thing.
I think Kaesden has gone small key, big key, compass here, so still no items to speak of in Ice Palace.
I don't think so, no.
And we know, since this is a flipper-locked dungeon logically, that Kaesden's not going to find flippers here, but he could still find one of the other 2 outstanding items he's looking for, which is the hope when you make the sequence break.
Yeah. Nothing else, this is another crystal off the board, so that alone, I think, is oh, Adalor scores with the flippers.
Eastern Palace paying out. Sometimes the game is just going to dump your progression right there and not hand you a bow and require you to go ahead and double dip it.
Yep, so now we'll see what Adalor decides to. Kaesden finding half magic, not required, but sure nice to have. There's Quake. Oh, Lake Hylia. Oh, wow. Amazing. Nobody checked that until like 30 seconds ago, until 20 seconds ago. Usually that's part of the hobo check, but nobody checks hobo.
That's why if I've armed a water walk, even if I don't want to carry it to Hobo, I'll go ahead and check that island first, because, again, like any other location in the game, sometimes the game is just going to put something there for you. And when it puts it out there in plain sight, it's really easy to forget about if you don't make the check early.
So with the half magic, this is a much easier fight with Cold Stare and Red Mail, of course. You know, but all 3 eyeballs go. And just $20 there. So a crystal, yes, for kaesden, that's 4, but Adalor has really moved into good position here, thanks in part to getting flippers and Quake. And well, that completes the set.
Yep, the full coin collection now in Adalor's possession. Unfortunately, aside from Quake opening some dungeons, it doesn't really do anything for him.
Yeah, Adalor's going straight for Ice Palace, it looks like. Or no, gonna hold off. Gonna get some security.
Yeah, does not know that the half magic is in there, so going to pick up a little bit of additional health and mana refill safety before going in.
Well, not a bad idea, certainly. And for Adalor, this ice will be a little easier just on the virtue of Red Sword. Gonna make some these enemies go down a little quicker than they did for kaesden.
Who is into this eastern area play now, and so we'll come across those flippers here in a handful of minutes, depending on which dungeon he wants to try first.
Tempered was for Saha. Purple Chest and Paradox Cave had the others.
Kaesden was trying to leave his pet extortionist behind there for a moment. You need your invincibility frames to have worn off before the monkey will follow you, and you have some of those when you mirror transition. And not unlike Adalor, it appears that Kaesden wants to go ahead and try the density play in Pendant Palace of Darkness before going into Eastern.
Now, yeah, so we've reached a bow end game here. So Adalor's trying to set up Icebreaker, a little trouble the first time. There it is. It's going to depend on if Kaesden checks Highly Island. Actually, yeah, that pretty much sums it up. If it takes a while for Kaesden to come up with Hylia, yeah. Especially if he gets ahead of himself and thinks, okay, time for Swamp Palace now.
That was an interesting little alternate strat there, going ahead and killing the 2 green mimics and then just running the red one off.
But yeah, we're so Adalor cutting through Ice Palace pretty efficiently here. Kaesden, meanwhile, having a little trouble with the jellyfish in pod. He's not having a lot of fun here right now.
The Samaria extension clip is reasonably repeatable and reasonably easy, but every once in a while, if something goes ever so slightly wrong, you just don't get the clip the way you want it.
Yeah, that's... Oh boy, okay. Kaesden had a little trouble getting past Mini Helma there, but was able to finish, and now so Adalor on his way to Cold Stare. Kaesden heading to the basement of Pod. So now that heart container puts them even on hearts at 14 apiece. So it's been a fairly healthy seed so far. Adalor is like, I don't have time for Bombos animation. I'm just gonna, fire rod this sucker.
With half magic, it makes a
Very.
lot of sense. You can just burn everything to the ground. A few tempered sword swings in there to help things move along.
Who knew Link was such an arsonist?
I think we've all known that since the first game in the series. You get that red candle and you just go puff, puff, puff all over the place. That is Adalor evening this crystal count back up at 4 apiece.
Not quite.
No. He has not done Monthiel right. That's right. Getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, it's 4-3 on the crystals right now. That is a free. That is free to him though. But yeah, Meyer next on the agenda list here. It is fully clearable. Only 2 items though.
But once again, though, it is one of those crystal dungeons that he does need to complete. 2 items available inside, so, why not go look there rather than do something like Skull Woods? Structural Mike pointing out that Quake was behind those flippers, so yes, this is chasing Quake. The alternative would be to, I guess, just continue chasing those flippers and go into Swamp first, but Swamp takes a little longer and you'd like to go mode it if you can.
Yeah. Honestly, with Meyer, you like to go mode that one too, or at least hope you get the draw to make it a quick one, but yeah. Adalor is behind, but depending on how this breaks, could be on his way to a major advantage if kaesden does not head towards Lake Hylia Island anytime soon, because that has the Quake Medallion, which is required to get into Meyer, where Adalor is right now.
Yeah, it is difficult to say. While kaesden does have that crystal lead, this game could yet shift.
I think it, and we'll see what happens in the next 5 minutes. Really, that's where I think the race could end up swinging. As Adalor is situated nicely to make a serious run here and just knock out a bunch of stuff. Still looking for bow. The bow is the final piece here. Yes, both runners did do the front of Skullwoods. kaesden went right back after and finished it off. There's the big key. Adalor is hoping that the second item is in the big chest or at Vitreous. You do not want to particularly do that that run up to the first floor.
And kaesden's going to head to 4. Is this the swamp play, or is he going to find his last couple of overworld flipper checks first and get his hands on that Quake Medallion?
looks like kaesden's heading to take care of Bombos first.
That's interesting. The book has not paid out yet and was really kind of in the way.
Unfortunately, not what he was hoping for, just 3 bombs.
Just another red herring.
Alright, so Vitreous time. Kaesden is going to do Swamp. So, Adalor using Cane of Burna to take out Vitreous's eyeballs, acting as a kind of shield. Fortunately, does not have bows, so this is going to take a little longer with the Tempered Sword.
Just taking it slow and steady, no reason to take any additional damage here.
Not at all. It does have a... Oh, there's the Ice Rod. That's item number 2.
Well, that's not what you wanted to see.
Not really, you know. Oh, that's just... I just had a terrible thought.
Go get your first bow off of Pendant Trinex? I was having that same thought.
Yeah, or since it's the green pendant, Sasparilla's been holding it all along.
That sounds like the kind of play we've come to expect from our favorite elder.
Yeah, well, that's cruel even by his standards. So they are knotted up at 4 on the crystals. Adalor's done Mire, Kaesden's done Skull Woods. Adalor is heading towards Swamp now. Get crystal number 5. Gonna make a pit stop at at Bombos first. Get that out of the way.
I must admit I am really, really curious where we are going to eventually find this first bow.
No kidding.
Kaesden go ahead and go left side swamp first, going to use the bomb diver down. Well, set up the bomb there and bank the explosion so that the diver down technique will allow him to hit that switch while he's in there catching the key. And just so as not to make a liar of me, he's going to go ahead and perform the bomb version of the actual trick as well. Of course, we also have Adalor coming in here hot on Kaesden's heels. If the bow is in here somewhere, we're going to have a very quick charge to the finish on Adalor's side. Kaesden still needs to find that Quake medallion.
Yeah. Alright, and okay, so nothing on the left side.
2 items, but it's all junk.
So the bow remains elusive to our runners.
Now, if these flippers continue not paying out, does that kind of bring to Kaesden's mind, there's still a couple of flipper checks that I haven't made yet, or does he write them off?
Hard to say. I think Mire might be first top of mind as far as he's concerned. Because that is a crystal you can do without, worrying about the bow. And yeah, it's long without, if you're not go-moding it, but
Well,
boy.
there's the bow. So now we have interesting things afoot.
If Adalor skips left side, looks like he is. Uh-oh. No. Gonna be thorough. Yeah. Playing to his strengths.
So if you're a fan of kaesden, you need kaesden to somehow intuit that the flippers are not done doing their work here and have him go over and check that Hylia Island before he gets out of the area, because otherwise he has the Clear of Eastern on hand, has the Pyramid Fairy play after that, of course can go ahead and clear out Vitrius as well, and we'll be full clearing all over the place.
So, all done there. So 1, 10, 11 for kaesden. That's 5. But once Adalor finds that bow, he's gonna probably be done in like 10 minutes on the crystals. He could conceivably be at GT at about 125.
Kaesden is heading directly for the island. This is great if you're a kaesden fan. This is great if you're a fan of a close game 3, because he is about to kick up Quake, and being go mode, Adalor is going to get that bow in the back of Swamp Palace. Cannot possibly miss it because he's still going to be making checks.
So at 110.56, kaesden is in go mode.
So kaesden has a go mode of Misery Mire here and has to get into the back of Eastern and clear that out. And Adalor is going to have to do that in Eastern and also needs to go into the back of Skull Woods and clear out the Moth. Also still has to put Argus on the table here, but that should only take another minute.
Yeah. And the big key, it was a bit out of the way, so we'll see how long this takes kaesden. All right, so 1:11:48, so a 52-second difference between go modes there for kaesden and Adalor. Kaesden leading 5-4 on the crystals, but that's gonna evaporate in about a minute here.
And the last couple of these on Adalor's side are going to be really quick. One of them, kaesden's going to have to do exactly the same things, and getting into the Moth area, not all that long in the grand scheme of things.
No. Good phase 1 Argus from Adalor. Nice box in there on Argus, and that will do it. So crystal number 5 at 1:12:46 for Adalor. So now the race is on.
Yep, strap in, folks. Make sure you get your drink of water now, because we are going to be spitless right to the finish.
So what would you do first, Skull or Eastern?
At this point, I don't know that it really matters. Whichever one you're more comfortable with, I guess, and I don't know which one that might be for Adalor. Looks like he wants to go ahead and do Eastern first.
For a second, he's like, oh, I gotta go to... No way, I don't.
No more Dark World shenanigans on the east side of the map, that's for sure. Kaesden
Okay,
forgetting
so
for a hot minute where he wanted to go next, but is about to be rewarded with the big key.
right, so he's through. We'll have an idea, I suppose, of who is the lead after they both get their 6th crystals. Adalor.
I think
I'd
Adalor has
say-
a mild time advantage coming up here because he's going to be able to flute away from this Light World crystal dungeon towards his next location, while Kaesden still has a mirror transition ahead of him.
Right. And yes, it has a lead, but not by much. Oh no! Oh, that's unfortunate. Misplayed that one, unfortunately.
Trying to sword down the Keykeeper and instead had some sword beams. Sword beams not terribly good in this game for most things.
Usually. So,
Kaesden showing off a nice little spooky action, and now into the boss, going to go with those NMG style strats with that tempered sword. It feels pretty good with you're already familiar with the strat. Has the bow, unlike Adalor, so going to be able to just machine gun down the main eyeball.
Adalor, so Kaesden will have his 6th crystal ahead of Adalor, so 1538. And 11550 for Adalor. So 6-6 on the crystals. Kaesden on his way to Eastern, Adalor on his way to Skull Woods.
Yep, not having to mirror transition there allows Adalor to claw back about 4 seconds. So here we go, 116.5. We are racing towards crystal number 7. There'll be different crystal number 7s for our 2 runners, but as soon as they have those in hand, we are going to have a little game to play.
Yeah, this is going to be very, very close indeed. I feel like Kaesden's going to get to Ganon first, especially if he handles the enemies better than Adalor did. Adalor ran into a little trouble, could not one cycle, when he needed to. So yeah, but this is the kind of game 3 you hope to see, folks. This is what you hope for. It's like very close, where it all comes down to little choices.
Where you get to the end game and the end game matters.
Yep. All right, so on his way to
Chloe was saying in
Mothula.
chat, GT routing could absolutely be the thing here.
I would expect it would be, along with execution in places like the Gauntlet. So Adalor finishes off Mothula and is going to flip the switch at 118.11.
Kaesden looks pretty clean on this quick kill and gets it.
So a 14-second difference between our runners on their 7th crystals. Wow. You won close, folks. Oh, you're getting it.
Adalor choosing that save and quit out rather than a mirror and a flute, while Kaesden being in the light world is go ahead and going to go ahead and flute 1.
Bedrock's giving Adalor the business there.
Dead Rocks give everyone the business. That is their business.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, we have 22 chests here in late Dark World. In GT and Gans Tower. So I'm gonna say 20. We actually got a difference in how they go.
I think I'll go 9 this time.
9. All right. So Adalor is going to be the first to GT. Not by much, by maybe 8 or 9 seconds. Stops at 1:19:58. Kaesden is going to stop at 1:02:06. So yeah, 8 seconds.
All right, Adalor going to be first in. We will base this on his count, albeit those mere 8 seconds separating their entries to the tower.
So Adalor is heading to the right side first. Chest number 1 is a key, a small key. Number 2 was $20. With the Cane of Samaria, Adalor is going to continue going right side. So Kaesden is following suit. This would be kind of a game 3 thing. Do you stick with the full right side play? Do you feel lucky or crazy or what?
I feel like when you're 1-1 with your opponent, you know you're close enough in skill that you've taken a game off of each other. You don't want to take a really wild gamble here unless you think your opponent is going to do it.
Yeah. Adalor having a little trouble getting through. So is Kaesden. Number 3, red rupee. Number 4, green rupee. 5, drugs. 6, 10 arrows. All right.
Sadly, it was not secretly key sanity all along. We're not expecting to find the GT big key on the mushroom here.
Yeah, that would be something. All right, so well, there's butter. Not needed necessarily, but it'll make fights go faster. So not surprising the runners are taking this.
Makes
So
it
that's
easier
number
to do the 1-1 on the first 2 cycles of Ganon, so, getting the first 2
yeah,
phases out of the way with a minimal time investment is pretty nice.
9 is $300, so a lot of money so far. 10 arrows, a lot of those too. 11. So halfway through the chests, those of you guessed above 50% are feeling pretty good right now. Oh, it's 12.
There it is in the double firebar room. All Adalor has to do now is climb this tower as fast as he can.
Yep. His execution the last couple of dungeons has been a little shaky in spots, so we'll see how much that affects things. To talk about nerves and execution and nerves. That's all it is now. This is a race, and Adalor leads by about a room and a half.
Kaesden had a little less trouble with Mimics 1 there, though, I think.
Yeah, but he's getting a little twisted around. Got a little twisted around in Mimics 2. So yeah, this is interesting.
Yep, playing for every possible edge here as Adelor makes his way into the beginning of the gauntlet, these next 6 rooms of nominally increasing difficulty with a bunch of Sazaks and Stelcos and conveyors and Beamos and a lot of things that are all trying to ruin your day.
Yep. Yeah, just making life difficult. Ooh. Yeah.
That red
All right.
Zazak was trying to escape him, but he did hunt it down before it got onto that conveyor and swung all the way around the room again.
All right. So, Adelor maintaining that lead. Let's see how he handles Landmos. Got 1 on the first cycle. He softened up the other 2, and so a 2-cycle fight there. Okay, so in case anybody forgot, they do have a fairy in a bottle. So that's not going to be a huge issue if it comes to that.
Kaesden taking what I believe was an unfortunate 3rd cycle there to get the last of those land moles down.
Yeah, that was not ideal. So Adlor padding his lead a little bit here. Aggressive with that fire rod. He's gonna have to stop. Well, both of them are gonna have to stop for a magic refill for floor 6.
Houston using his health pool to the absolute limit there, down to 1 again.
Yep. So Adelor did stop to check those 2 chests. Is hoping to grab silvers, somehow. Your odds are pretty remote. All right, so we did not get a troll dorm earlier. Both did go into Hera, but both noped out of there once they got the hammer and the big key. But
So how do
nice.
you like silvers on Moldorm 1? The ultimate chest of the game there, just a piece of heart. A little bit of love to send you on your way.
And unfortunately, neither of them had 3 heart pieces already, so no quick refill for Aga 2. Silvers and TR for sure. Yeah. It's the only dungeon we didn't actually set foot in today. Ooh, didn't get a great setup, and that's not a great setup either. He's trying to get a single and a single. That's not a bad setup. Nice double there. Oh, nice. 1-1-2-2. So single, single, double, double. For Adelor, 4 cycles. Nice double there by Kaesden. Oh, that's unfortunate. He's setting up and got caught. So loses time on that cycle, and down goes Aga for Kaesden. So 5 cycles to 4. So now, what's it gonna be?
It's going to be Adelor dropping into that Ganon fight first. Ganon going to ask questions that are probably better left unanswered, and here we go into phase 1.
A nice phase 1 for okay, so he does take the death, but he does have a fairy, so he's fine. That's it's unfortunate for Adelor. So, but he still maintains the lead. After phase 2, and now we chase the Ganon.
Just a question of how cooperative the pig wants to be today.
He was being a bit of a jerk early, but he's been pretty cooperative since. So 3 jumps. All right, so here it is. And they were in GT. Okay. So one of the 10 chests in the game we did not see. All right, so 12 charged swings for Ganon. That's 3. It's really close, like 4 to. Adlor's at 5 right now. You need 12 to do this. Oh, nice. Uh-oh. That's not what he wanted. It's pressing a little bit. Curium, actually, good point. Yeah, 11. Yeah, we always forget about the big chest. It's always about the first 22, but yeah, there's really 23.
And kaesden turns Ganon silver again there.
All right, 11, I think, for Adalor, and that's it. Adalor has got it.
12 spins into the pig explodes. Adalor's going to stand there with that sword raised high in the air in the pose of victory while he waits for this bridge to appear so that he can cross it. Timing ends as soon as he crosses that bridge, and there we have it. Get your GGs in chat for Adalor, who has finished first here with a time of 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 1 second. kaesden, also standing there in the victory pose, is going to cross this bridge momentarily as well. Get your GGs in chat for him as well. This was a great game by both of our runners with a 1 hour, 30 minute, 17 second time.
Yes, absolutely. What a wild final 20 minutes, and we are joined by our 2 competitors now, Adalor and kaesden. GGs on a terrific and exciting game 3.
GG's. I gotta say,
indeed.
I was turbo worried when I pulled up the racer after killing Ganon. I see he's not done. I was like, oh, please don't snipe me in these last few seconds, please. And then I hit it, and then 16 seconds later, his comes in, and I'm like, wow, it was actually like crazy close. Ugh.
I pulled it up right as Ganon was exploding, and I just see this flash of 1:30:01. I was like,
oh
wow.
Man.
At least we put on a good show.
Yeah, I am really looking forward to watching this one again because I want to see how close it was the whole way through.
It was very close throughout. Going into GT, it was 8 seconds apart. So, what it looked like for a little while, Adalor, you might actually have run away with it, but then kaesden, after finishing Swamp Palace, made the very smart move to go to Lake Hylia and get that Quake. Like, that kept you in the fight. So
that's yet another seed where when you get an early flute and you don't get the opportunity to scout Hylia early. That's bitten me a few times. If I had scouted that early, I could possibly save myself a full clear of swamp, 1 item to go mode. Then there's no way I'm doing left side, and that right there that's the 16 seconds right there at least.
Yeah, there were both of you largely did the same routes, but there were some key differences here and there. For example, kaesden, you did North Dark World. Adalor never did, but you did Skullwoods much earlier than Adalor did. So, it is one of those things.
Yeah, I was prepared to do North Dark World if I needed to after cleaning up Skull Woods. But yeah, it was bugging me that I never looked at Bumper Ledge because I was just like, oh god, I forgot to look at it, and I hope there's nothing important there. But when do I get back there? I mean, I've got to wait until I've got Fire Rod to go clean up Moth, right? Like, there's no good opportunity elsewise.
Yeah, I think it was a piece of heart if I recall correctly. So but in terms of how it played, it was very, very close throughout, and there were multiple occasions where you were in the same place at the same time. So yeah, it was really just those little bits of execution, an extra cycle, with the land mows, taking a few extra seconds, little things like that. That's again, what a great game 3 though. That was terrific.
I will say, based on the time of our 3 games, this was the one to be restreamed. So it was definitely a really good game.
Yeah.
I see Krubble asking me a question there about EP and Pod. Reason I did the island first is I was just thinking to myself as I was doing swamps, like, I don't want to get burned by island again. And if I go sink time into finishing those out, then I'm just setting myself up to lose. I already dipped a full pendant dungeon. I wasn't about to go back to it again. So
yeah,
I just figured I got to get the quick overworld stuff out of the way first.
Yeah, I picked up let's see, because I checked the island before ice, and I was like, oh well, that's there. So I get that, go to Hobo, go to ice, then Mire, then Swamp, and then Swamp ended up having the Go Mode bow in the back of it. So I was like, when I got that, I was like, I did not get to Go Mode any dungeons. This seed sucks. I'm probably like 2 or 3 minutes behind. I'm just gonna try to play really hard, and I don't know, maybe I'm not as bad as I think, but it sure felt bad.
Yeah, well, for what it's worth, I felt exactly the same way. So we were just in the same situation. You're just a bit ahead of me.
Yeah, like the one, you said not go moding dungeons, because you did Mire much sooner, Adalor, than kaesden. Kaesden got the benefits of essentially go moding that, and well, at least getting to skip a couple of checks along the way, because you were still kind of doing full tilt on that one. So that saved some time, certainly. But
Mire was not kind.
Yeah, no. the key was in map, so it's not like you could really get a lot out of go moding. Yeah.
And when Adalor got to had an easier go with Ice Palace because Red Sword versus Blue Sword, so that made Cold Stare much faster. But then Mire went faster for you, Kaesden. So it was interesting. Those little things. I think at the end of the day they did kind of even out.
Actually, I'm gonna be curious to see how our early games went, because I felt like I was really early getting to hammer, but like I wouldn't be surprised if you just were taking the same route.
Pretty much.
Yeah, the seed was fairly linear. I think if you get those flippers early, it would open up in a different way. But for the most part, it just kind of pointed you with some breadcrumbs here and there. It's like, this is probably where you should go, and then
because I think Adalor, I think you made a run at Zora pretty early. I think Kaesden took you a little longer to get there. If I've got the chronology right in my head, so that was like one major difference. But otherwise, it's like the bread that you say, those breadcrumbs.
Yeah, I kind of avoided the Zora area because I didn't have any way to splash delete if there was something on the ledge, and I didn't want to have to come back for it too bad.
Right,
so I just figured I'll go do the stuff that's actually in logic, and hopefully that'll pay off.
Yeah, whereas I went for the water walk, we had like 4 something going into Ice Rod, and I'm like, I'll just grind the money here because I have a glove, and then I'm gonna water walk to Zora. I should have just checked the island while I was water walking in hindsight, because that would have been convenient. Yeah.
Also, I'll say shout out to the stun prize for Escape. That was nice.
Oh, that stun prize was great. I got 8 bombs on the way out. I'm like, perfect. I don't have to grind on rats. That's beautiful.
It's like, hey, a Burna start, and it's not terrible. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm super happy to see that hookshot early, and I'm like, oh, maybe the stun prize is good. 8 bombs, like, you're the best game, the best.
Yeah, it's not bad for a seed that, generally speaking, wasn't all about the giving as far as the items go. Not until very late.
Yeah, it just put us on such a wild bow hunt. I guess if you just you've got like 3 dungeons open, you're like, pick one and do it. I guess if you pick Swamp first, then you're a little better off, but you still have to it's still a dumb seed because you still have to double dip Crystal Eastern to get the flippers. Like that's hard required. Like that was such a feels bad moment when I was just like, because I did all of pod, found nothing in there. Then I'm like, all right, I guess I feel like I have to do Eastern even though it's Crystal on a bow because I'm right here. I might as well. And that was the correct play because the flippers are in the back in the big key chest. I'm like. And then I'm like, okay, should I have fake flippered into ice? And then ice had nothing in it. And then I waited until later because I was kind of torn between like, all right, so what's the progression? Is it like the stuff that opens up the mire or the stuff that opens up swamp? And I'm like, I guess I'll just coin flip mire and hope I can go mode swamp. And that whatever.
Yeah, it is one of those things for sure. You know, at a certain point, it's like it's an educated guess at best. Like play with your gut and hope that you're right.
Yeah, because like if I walk into swamp and I'm like go -1, I know I'm full clearing it. So my thinking was, all right, maybe I just get lucky in mire and I can just like go straight to the back of swamp. Because I feel like you get more to go mode swamp than mire on average. So that was
I think that was a good call. I went into swamp and. As soon as I pulled the compass, I was like, I'm 2 from go, so I just did left side first, and was just wrong choice.
Yeah. That's rando for you.
Yep. Rando's gonna rando. But at the same time, if Quake had been on left side, I would have been in a really good spot. So, different seed, different results.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I full cleared swamp 1 go. I did left side before because I'm like, if I go to the back and there's anything left on left side, I'm just gonna take more time to go back in and get it. So it's just like, just do left side first. There's no reason not to in my mind. Chloe, I'm gonna argue with you on that. So
I would take Chloe's side on this. I honestly would. If you're 1 from go, you go to the boss first. That's my opinion.
I can't stand semi-go moding swamp. It's just overall. I guess for me, maybe confirmation bias and how the game for each of us.
For me, it's items per minute. That's pretty much how I approach everything in the game. Is items per minute, and going to the back first gets you more checks per minute. So chances are you're going to find it in the back versus just 2 checks on the left that are really slow. That's my thought on it.
Yeah. I mean,
if you need 2 items, then now you're playing a different numbers game. So
yeah, it's all calculated risks, but
yeah.
Hey, so.
Krobel points out at the end of the day you won, so you must have done something right.
Just enough.
Just enough. Yeah.
16 seconds of enough. Yeah.
Right. That was a game.
Yes, it was. So, GG's to both of you for again a most entertaining game 3 today. So GG's.
Yeah, wonderful showing by both of you.
Mm-hmm.
GG's, everybody. Any final words before we wrap up?
I'd just say thanks again for making the restream happen. Trackers and comms and everything. It's always a pleasure to be on restream.
I'm really glad to get like a restream, and like Kaesden said earlier, like this one worked out extremely well. It was a turbo close game 3. Like you couldn't ask for a better show. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to watching this one.
Yeah.
Awesome. So yes,
for me, I'd like to go ahead and thank
ahead.
everybody really quick. Kaesden and Adalor for putting on a great show. Ricky, thank you for doing all the technical work behind the scenes. Yoinker's wife pushing the buttons, making sure those trackers stayed updated. Pro A, it was a wonderful experience calming with you today. I'm glad we got a great game for it. Kaesden, unfortunately, this is the end of your tournament, but it was a joy to watch. Adalor, you get to move on and face Fant, who defeated Leoria.
Yep, I am. I was honestly in our eighth of the bracket here, which has so many like strong people. I was expecting to end up fighting Leo in top 16 if I got there. So I think at this point I'm playing for vengeance and saying, all right, I'll beat him up and we'll move to top 8 and see who I get there.
Excellent, Ricky. Unless we have any final thoughts from Pro A, and please speak up if you do, we'll turn it back over to you.
GG's all, and good luck, Adalor, in your next match.
Thank you.
All right, and with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. GG's to our runners. Thank you to kaesden and Adalor. That was an awesome race. Please follow the runners. Also, follow our commentators. MyNDM and ProA007 did a fantastic job. And our tracker, Yoinker's wife, did a great job tracking. Coming up on Zelda Speedrun's main channel, we have the Ocarina of Time Randomizer Standard Weekly Race happening in just an hour, I think. I thought it was supposed to be happening right now, but they're still finishing up a Skyward Sword bit race, or no bit hundo race, which was fun to watch if you were watching that one. And also, in terms of hype on the schedule, tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. on the main channel, we have the finals of the Twilight Princess 80% tournament between ZachLink99 and Nimzo. So that's going to be super hype. Go ahead and check that out. As the top 16 of Challenge Cup schedule their matches, we're going to get more on the restream schedule to cover those. It's going to be super hype for the next few weeks as the tournament is wrapping up. So I hope to see you all there. And with that, hope you had a great time watching, everybody, and have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye!